Hello and welcome back to another Star Citizen video, and today we're gonna take a look at the Retaliator. It is time, or rather I'm late to the party, okay? It is time for us to revisit. Truth to be told, I did a ship tour for the Retaliator. It was great, it was nice. It's one of those ships that I actually wanted, part of my combat fleet, right? Or rather the combat lineup, I'll put it this way. But unfortunately, I don't want to own it too much. See, the thing is, I not say I don't want to own too much ship, but there are lots more other ship that I have to put priority with. Oh no. But I love Internet Spaceship, right? I love Star Citizen because of this, okay? Not just ship, but the functionality of the ship. And in this case, the Retaliator is the first ship in the game right now that offers modularity. And that is a huge thing. So we're going to take a look a little bit deeper, right? We're going to get some stats out as well on the Retaliator itself, because this is actually one of the ship, actually not one of the ship, it is the ship that I usually will recommend when it comes to bombers. There's only two ships, okay? I'll put it this way. Two ships, right? All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button to help this channel grow. First PSA is that you do not need to buy any of this ship with real money. They are purchasable in-game. This is very important. We are getting lots and lots of video for Scam Citizen, Store Citizen. I think it's a new meme right now, which is okay, which is valid. All right, why would I want to pay extra $175 for the Retaliator? That is literally screams microtransaction. Crazy, right? So the main thing is to help fund the development of Star Citizen, but at the same time, CIG has already reached over $700 million mark. So I have to really put all this PSA out there so that you will know, and you should know, right? You do not need to buy. It's purchasable in-game. You can just grind and get the ship in-game itself. Easy. That's usually what I will recommend, but of course I have other plans for Star Citizen. I love big ships, and it's tough. It's tough, okay, on that front. But again, you do not need to buy any of the ship with real money. Next up, another PSA, I have to add this in, is that I will do a comparison to any of the flight ready ship in the game as it is. I know some ship is not fully functional in terms is on paper. There are some game mechanics not ready yet, but to make things easier, because if it's flyable, which means you can do whatever the ship can do in the game at the moment. If it doesn't do certain things, then I have to revisit. So in this case, the Retaliator is a revisit, because now we get to see its modularity. And that's another thing that I want to put out, okay? It is not apple to apple comparison. Some ships you can do it, but most ships you can't really do an apple to apple comparison. It's tough. Okay, so without further ado, let's start off with the Retaliator. It is a weapons platform, number one. It is mainly a torpedo weapon platform with gunship capability. That's it. That's the main thing. And of course, now the Retaliator is fully functional because the second selling point of the Retaliator is modularity. Straight up. The moment I saw the cargo module, I was like, you know what? I would love to have this ship in my fleet because it is versatile enough. And of course, it has dropship module as well, which is great. Technically speaking, for a fully fledged combat ship or a versatile combat ship that you can retrofit or outfit it, I think it's one of the best thing for not just a solo player, but a small group of player. Very straightforward. If you want to fly the Retaliator solo, no problem. You can fire the torpedoes. Nice. Now you can do cargo running if you want to. That's the reason why I love the Retaliator, and I can easily recommend this ship. Okay, let's start off with the first stat, cargo module. We have 38 plus 36, so in a total of 74 SCU. Not a lot, but it's a lot. It's not a lot compared to certain ships, right? If you're going to go for, that's the part where I will compare to what is the closest ship that we can compare the Retaliator in terms of cargo hauling. It is not the best, but it's not the worst. See? That's a big difference. And of course, when I swap out to a cargo module to torpedo module with cargo module, that's like I can shoot torpedoes if I want to, and I can loot if I want to. That's also another thing. When the dropship module is out, I can have cargo module plus dropship module, which means I can carry more valuable cargo in and out of a combat zone. The possible is almost endless. All right, I wouldn't say endless per se, but you know, you can do a lot of stuff with a versatile ship, and that's where the Retaliator literally shines. In fact, actually, that's the reason why I recommend. All right, other than the torpedo, right now I think the Retaliator is the best torpedo ship at the moment, right? With 6 size 9 torpedoes. The closest competitor is the Eclipse, and we're going to take a look, right? We're going to compare why would you choose the Retaliator over the Eclipse. In general, I would say 9 out of 10. The Retaliator is the better pick. Is it the best pick? No, it is a better pick. Now, next up, for in-game functionality, a vehicle module must be equipped in-game in order to appropriate the vehicle type, the Retaliator hub. Okay, cool. So basically, it is their current placeholder rule. You have to equip your Retaliator before you can spawn. Simple as that. All right, equip in-game. So that's nice. Cargo enabled. That's nice. That's nice. Torpedo. Yeah, no, the whole idea is the torpedo. It is, oh, so nice. Right now, I have cargo, which is great, right? Dropship, not ready yet. Personal right now for Retaliator is like, what is it for? Long-term crew habitation, yes. But because the long-term, or rather the crew habitation game mechanic is not in the game, right? It's not live in the game, so it's a bit hard to judge whether the cargo module, or not cargo, the personal module is good or great. But in my opinion, which I think, that's the reason why I don't like to speculate, but I'm going to think this way. Perhaps the crew habitation, it's mainly for AI crew. I do hope it's mainly for AI crew. So if you want to run a crew with AI, then the crew habitation is kind of needed to keep them operate at its most optimal performance. That's the closest thing I can think of right now, right? And because if it's a player-to-player, yeah, you don't really need it unless they add in a survival style game mechanic. Then, yeah, again, these are all for the future. So we will revisit the modules when it's live. But for the current set of Retaliator, torpedo, cargo, actually that's all you need, which is nice. Okay, so length 71, max crew 7, modular rooms 2 with, okay, so we're not going to go through this at this site. We're going to go to another site, which is DPS calculator. It has a little bit more, right? A little bit more stats for you to go around. Okay, so let's look at the price tag. This is where I will say you do not need to buy any of this with real money. All of them are purchasable in-game. That's why people are crazy. It says $175 for a ship. That is outrageous, and I agree. It is outrageous if the game is fully launched. And at the same time, because the game right now is at $700 million mark, we have to really judge it, right? That's why we don't want to spend too much money. Talking about from a ship addict. Okay, so let's see. Standalone offers. Retaliator cargo module. So we have $30 for the bow. Stern, we have 30. So it's 60. Okay, so in total, the Retaliator is 75, 60, $235 for a cargo ship. Then the closest competitor is the Constellation series. In this case, we're going to compare to the Constellation Taurus. Right? I cannot use Freelancer Max because Freelancer Max is a smaller ship, so it's different. So we're going to compare, but I'm going to bring up the Freelancer Max just to see what's the difference. Next up, we have the Retaliator Torpedo Module, 75 plus 50, $125. So 125 plus, oh, it's 300. It's 300 now. Okay. So the price went up by $25. The Retaliator used to be $275 before the modularity. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Again, ship will go up in price. That's why sometimes you want to lock down certain ships as early as you can via the Warbond upgrade. In this case, let me show you. Where is the Warbond upgrade? Warbond upgrade today. Let's take a look. How much does it cost? 75. All right, $15. Okay, cool. For me, I would pick the base and then I'll earn the modules in game. That's my game plan. So let's take a look at some of the stats for the Retaliator. I'm going to use this from DPS calculator and we're going to check some of the key stats here. All right, so I have the Eclipse loaded up. First thing first is, of course, we want to check the torpedo module. It is size 9. It is the same exact torpedo with the Eclipse. The only difference is Eclipse has only 3. So half of the torpedo firepower. And personally, if you're going to run Eclipse or the Retaliator in general, you're going to use it for its torpedo. That's it, right? If you want if you want to pew pew with an Eclipse with a torpedo capability, wrong ship. Wrong ship. Eclipse is basically just fire and done. And in this case, the Eclipse is best, right? Is the best ship if you want to run a, I would call this a alpha strike. In this case, you just want to shoot all, basically you want to release all your torpedoes and run away. In this case, the Eclipse is the best ship for that role. Look at the EM and IR stats. It is very, very, very low. That means to get a lock-on on an Eclipse, it's going to be tough. Versus the Retaliator. The Retaliator has terrible, terrible EM and IR numbers. All right, so in this case, your lock-on, you can easily lock on the Retaliator, like at least, according to the stats over here, easily 5 kilometers, 6 maybe. I don't have the exact calculation for the stats at the moment, but I'm going to use IR. So IR, basically the highest number is the one that dictates the range. So in this case, if it's a full, so it's 6 kilometers. Crazy. But it has more stuff for you to pew pew. It has a man turret or a size. So it's a size 4 man turret with a size 3 weapon. Is it all size 3? All size 3. Nice. So in this case, I think it's okay. Yeah, 9 out of 10. You will pick the Retaliator over the Eclipse because of all these things. If you have friends to play with, Retaliator is actually a very, very good ship to pick. Especially if you want to join up the Xenothreat. And in fact, the Retaliator is actually a very, very good ship for the Xenothreat Phase 2 and Phase 3. Phase 2, you can do your simple cargo hauling, right? Do all your cargo hauling done. Once Phase 3 is started, you can quickly go and refit for a torpedo module and then come in and then, launch all your torpedoes. Nice. Okay, so next one we want to compare to, again, all this, I'm not going to go too in-depth on a lot of this ship because they are subject to change, and at the same time, paper is different than application, right? Paper stats is going to be vastly different because there are lots more things in Star Citizen that you have to take it into consideration. Basically, the components, right? The components will change the numbers, that's for sure. Okay, so the next ship we want to compare to is the Constellation Taurus, 174 SCU, which is easily doubled compared to the Retaliator. So that's why we cannot compare to the Taurus. In this case, we cannot compare because the Taurus is a dedicated hauler per se, whereas the Retaliator is not. Next up, we want to check a little bit about Harbinger because Harbinger has it's a heavy fighter / bomber, but unfortunately, it's not a size 9 torpedo, it's a size 5. So again, this is uncomparable. But for the fun of it, let's see the SCU or the cargo. No cargo? Oh, boo. The Vanguard series is one of, actually, it is my number one pick. Not the Harbinger, but the Vanguard series. Or the Vanguard Halls. My number one pick for PvE combat. Alright, last but not least, we're going to check on MISC. We want to look at Freelancer Max again. Not apples to apples because the Freelancer Max is a size 3. All right, this is where I have to be very, very specific. I know that lots of people will crucify me with this, and the Retaliator is a size 4. And what about the Eclipse? Eclipse is a size 2. So it is not really a fair comparison per se, but when it comes to Bomber, there's only 2. So what other ships can I compare to? Almost nothing if you want to be extra fair. So in this case, I will take the closest thing, right? So Eclipse, great for literally stealth bomber. But most of the time, the Retaliator will shine. In fact, it says gunship, right? It's a gunship slash bomber. Okay, Freelancer Max, 120 SCU, still better, but not that far ahead. Not bad, not bad. And last but not least, okay, if you want to compare military ship to military ship, my favorite is the Freelancer Misk. Freelancer Misk, okay, so we trade up a lot of firepower. No, we trade a lot of cargo for firepower, so that's fair. That is fair. So that's it. That's the reason why I recommend the Retaliator. Modularity is, I would say modularity is king for terms of gameplay. Variety, not king. Basically, you want to have a lot of variety when it comes to ships, right? Of course, niche ships will perform better. Let's put it this way. And with that being said, that's it. Yeah. The question right now, before we really end, which position is the Retaliator on my combat list? Mine, all right, not the definition rule or guide. This is just me. What combat ships would I love to have on my fleet? So I have the Vanguard. That's number 1. Number 2, yeah, actually no, the Retaliator can be number 2, but it is not number 2. No, the Retaliator probably is number 3 or 4 right now. Because number 2, I think I will have to hand it to a dedicated fighter. In this case, not a heavy fighter, but more towards light and medium. That would be in between the Hornet, or rather the Super Hornet, Saber, and... oh no, actually no, it's this 2. Dang it. It's only these 2. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, that's it. That's all I have for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button and help this channel grow. Of course, if you disagree with my take on the Retaliator, let me know down in the comments below. Until then,